Hey guys, so today I'm going to be tearing down this DS for the lower screen in this DS, because when I power it on, I've got a problem with the lower screen. There's kind of graining. I'm not sure if that comes across on camera very well, but it kind of just grains. You can see it there. It gets kind of annoying, so I'm going to be taking the bottom screen out of this one and replacing it with the bottom screen out of this one. So, let me go ahead and turn this one off. It shows up kind of prominently there. So, I'm just going to be turning this one off and beginning the teardown. Now, each DS is held together by a few screws, one of which is right underneath the game card, right up there, two underneath here, two here, and a few more underneath this back plate. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in, get this DS into focus, and begin its teardown. So what I've got here is a standard Phillips head screwdriver. I'm just going to start undoing these screws. The two on the back here, they stay in this back piece. There's two underneath these little rubber feet. They just come out. Rubber feet come out and you set them off to the side. Here's where the first couple screws that come out are. I'd recommend having a tray, which I have right here. And you just unscrew these, set them in the tray. This back piece will come off. You don't need to take those top two screws out yet, or you don't have to take them out to take off the back panel. I'm also going to remove the SD card, which I probably just flashed in front of your guys' face. So, just pull up with a little bit of pressure. That reveals the battery. Now the other one won't have a battery because I've already torn it down, and I've taken the battery out because it was swollen. So then there's just a few screws, one right here. Here's the back plate revealing the serial number. There's 4 screws here in the actual black plastic. They just come out like that. And this last one here. And those top 2 screws also come out underneath these two. And there's a black screw there which wasn't put in last time. So I really need to get better at that. Ooh, watch those ribbon cables. Then you reveal these 2 cables here for the trigger buttons. And that needs to be snapped down because it wasn't last time. Here is the inside back. Here's the holder for the stylus, and here's the main motherboard, which we are going to have to remove. So, I'd start by pulling up on all of the little ribbon connectors. There's usually a screwdriver involved with this, so I'm just going to replace my Phillips head bit with a small flat blade screwdriver. Start pulling up on these connections very carefully. Okay, so there's that one. That one goes down to the bottom screen. Then this, which I believe is the 3D processor, comes out like that. That, I believe, is the heatsink, and that is the wire going to it. So, I'm going to start gently pulling out these ribbon cables. The ones that I can, of course. Like that one. So, now I'm going to switch back to my Phillips head screwdriver and start pulling out the motherboard screws after the circle pad. So the circle pad kind of holds it down a little bit, and there's a connector on the underside of it. So just pull it up, pull up that little connector, and set that off to the side. Now there's also a tiny screw holding the volume switch into place. That just comes out. It's the same size as the screw which would be up on top of the game card slot. I'm not sure if you guys are in focus. There. Alright, that just pulls on out. Now don't lose the mounting bracket for that. It's kind of tricky to find. Okay, so now I'm going to start undoing the screws for the motherboard. They're relatively tiny and they do sometimes run away from you. So it helps to have a very slightly magnetic screwdriver. So just undo these, plop them in the tray. Do that, put it in the tray, undo this, and there are a total of 10 of them. 4 right here, 4 right there, and 2 down here on the bottom. So just undo them all. And you put them over here in a little tray, and they are kind of yellowy colored, so that's how you can tell that they are part of the motherboard screws. Now I gotta be careful when I put when I start to take the motherboard out, as there is another ribbon connector on the bottom, which I cannot undo from up top. And so there's those. Right, and this just lifts out. A little bit of persuasion. Get under there. Kind of pull that out and lift. Now, here's where I run into some problems, because a few of these ribbon connectors don't want to come out, like that one there. Now I just pull this up. That exposes that one. And this little wire comes out. So here's the motherboard in its entirety, top and bottom. Here's where your buttons are, and that's the Wi-Fi switch. So I'm going to set that off to the side onto the back of the DS. I'm going to open up this DS. Watch out for these little corner bits there. I'm going to apply some firm pressure to the screen until I can get an edge. And it should kind of just pull up. There's some adhesive holding it in place. Watch out for this little washer. It goes to the circle pad assembly. Then you just pull up on it very slowly and very gently, because this is the bottom screen we were talking about. It will break if you are not careful. There it is. There's the bottom screen. So I'm going to set that off to the side and start tearing down the donor DS, which is pretty much the same process. So I'm going to just undo that, unscrew this, go ahead and get down in there. Come on, there you go. Undo that. Come on. I think this one's kind of stripped. Yeah, it is. It's fine. Just have to be careful when we put it back in. And there's this little black one down here. That goes up there with the tiny screws. Right, I'm probably just going to go ahead and do all this off camera. So I will be back when I'm done with tearing down everything. Alright, so here we are, guys. This is the screen out of the other DS. As you can tell, it's marked 13-ish. That's a B, one of the two. But now this is just going to plop right back into its frame. Right into its new frame, I guess. Because this screen hasn't been in this DS before. Now, what happens here is we have to reattach the ribbons for the top screen. Here's the motherboard. Now, the easiest way to do this, in my experience, is to set the two that go behind, or on top of the motherboard, sorry, set those in place first, and then get the ribbon that goes to the back and push that in place. Hold it there, kind of bring the motherboard down on top of it. Is it very safe? No. Is it probably going to break something? Maybe later. But for right now, it works. The pins didn't get all the way in. Come on. Go in there even. Alright. There. Yeah. Come on. Even. I said even. There we go. Now, what you're going to do is bring the motherboard down. Watch out for any ribbon connectors that might get trapped underneath the motherboard, such as this one right here. That's for the bottom screen. This wire here, this green wire, and these two. Alright, from here, I'm going to go ahead and close the DS to get a better working space. So now, slot this big ribbon cable up into place. Make sure the latch is up. It's kind of important. It's going to be a little bit of a pain. It's probably going to be a bit of a pain for you guys seeing through my arm. But after a little bit of hassling and fandangling, it will go in. Maybe. Maybe it'll go in. Go in. Silly thing. Tell you what, the smaller one up top is not helping the situation. Okay. Because there are little notches there. When they're in and aligned, they will touch the white plastic of the latch. Come on, silly thing. Frickin' thing. Alright, so I'll save that one for later and just go ahead and plug in this small one up top. This one stops being a pain. You know what? Screw it. We'll just keep going. Now, don't apply too much pressure to these ribbon cables. They are very, very fragile. I'll go ahead and bring you guys back when I'm done messing with this. Okay, so I went ahead and put in the circle pad. Now all I gotta do is screw it down with the two very long included screws. So, just drop one down in there, drop one down in there, put in the screw, just screw it in. Other way, idiot. Don't lose the other one because you accidentally knocked it out. Points for me. Alright. So you just screw that one back in. Alright, and that is everything reassembled that I can reassemble from here. All I gotta do is put this little rubber thingy back where it goes, which I believe is the microphone, and then start screwing the motherboard back down. Like I said, there are 10 screws, and they are all colored very yellowish green, kind of like a brass color. Just screw those down. If the microphone would stop popping out.
The time is 8 p.m.
Thank you, radio. It's 8 p.m. Wonderful. So I guess I'm going to screw down the other side as it is popping up. You cockroach. Right there. Now screw it down. Grab another one. Like I said, there are 10 included screws. 10 screws. I don't know why I keep saying included screws. There are 10 screws that you have to put in. They're all very tiny. So you will need a precision or jeweler's screwdriver set to put them in. When I get the inner back plate on, I'll go ahead and test it to see if it worked. Come here, you. And if you guys see anything wrong and want to correct me on what I've been doing, let me know. Because I am not a professional at this. I just take things apart that are broken and try and fix them to the best of my abilities. Am I missing out on a few safety precautions? Probably, because I don't have an ESD strap. I'm working on top of a freezer. So, alright, 2 more screws to go. I'll go ahead and reassemble the other one off camera so you guys don't have to deal with the torture of seeing me put one of these back together again. Alright. Come on, you stupid thing. Nope. And I lost it. Good job. I always have one extra screw, just in case. Now put the microphone back down where it goes. Take these little bits that are used for connecting wrist straps and other things to your DS, put them back into place, and put the inner back plate back on, and watch for these Lego style connectors for the shoulder buttons. Those just pop down right into here and over here. So set my screwdriver over there, since it's not really required for this. Just find where it goes. Come on. Please. For me. And they just kind of click down back into place. This one goes over here. Thing. There. I'll just fold this back over. I'll put a couple screws in it so it at least holds in place. Won't go too far. Just put in a couple adjacent ones. So one up here in this corner, and one down here in this corner. help hold it down. Now, battery slides in like a phone. Battery, trying to check and make sure if it's bowed like the other one was. Just hold that into place. Power it on. Moment of truth. They both power on. I consider that a success. So power that one off. Close it. Pull out the battery. And finish screwing everything in. Great. It worked first time. That's not a common occurrence at all. This is why I'm so proud of myself. And what was wrong with the other one was the top screen was broken on it because it got put in a bag and the screen broke. I'll show you that here in a minute. It's actually visible on the outside of where it broke. And the battery kind of bowed out. I'm not sure if that was part of the problem. It actually rocks on a table if you set it down. Right, screw that down. That one's always the hardest one. Alright. Get this tiny little black screw. This one goes up on the top, as it is the NES version. That one goes there. Don't forget to put the battery in. It's kind of important. Just slides down in there. Now there are these three little notches here. There are 3 slots there. So you set it in from the back first. Maybe. Give it a little bit of angle. Back first. And plop it down. Then screw it down. There you go. I just got to put these rubber feet back on. Which mine are the gray ones, not the white ones. That one plops down. This one plops down as well. Game card goes in. Pokemon Omega Ruby. Good game. Good game. That just clicks in. SD card. Just pops in there. Now, when I did the motherboard switch from this DS to the white one, the Nintendo ID is stored on the internal storage. So that might be a problem, because right now this is registered to this DS would have been registered to me had I kept the motherboard and just changed out the SD card slot, because that was the problem I was having with it. But instead, it's stored on the internal memory, which I believe is this right here. It's surrounded in the white whatever it is there. So it's registered to a different person, and I'd have to go in and change that. But other than that, it's all fine. But anyways, other than that, I'll talk to you guys later.